Morning peeps, what's good, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all doing very, very well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, let's see what there is to talk about from the world of boxing. We haven't done one of these videos for a while where we just look at all the stories rather than focus on one specific story. Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano this weekend. Remember, a rematch of their fight that was a draw, controversial draw. I thought a lot of people thought Castano won. That's this weekend. I was thinking about doing a live watch along, but not sure. We'll think about it. But yeah, looking forward to that fight. Win or lose, I do think this is Jermell Charlo's last fight, 154 pounds. I think he will go to 160. I think his brother's going to jump up to 168. So it's going to be interesting. Remember, there is talk, or I say talk, Terence Crawford has called out Jermell Charlo. So you never know. Look, he might win and stay for one more 154 pounds, that one more being Terence Crawford, but I doubt it because the fight we all want to see is Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. So look, let Charlo just handle his business against Castano, which I think is a really tough fight. Castano just has a forward pressure style that I just don't think Jermell Charlo likes. Jermell Charlo likes to be a front foot fighter, and Castano makes him fight on the back foot, like it's constant pressure. So it might just be a style thing. Maybe this style for Charlo is just a bit awkward, but we'll see. It should be a good fight on the weekend, and it continues this run of ridiculously good fights that we've had recently. So looking forward to that one. Even if we don't do a live watch long, we'll obviously review it on a Sunday session live. I'm thinking of doing sort of a Thursday evening live Q&A type thing. We haven't done one for a while. I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll put it in the community tab, or I'll do a video tomorrow and say, yeah, we're going to do something on Thursday. But it's likely we do something on Thursday, 8 o'clock. So put that one in your diary. All right, let's talk about this actually. I think this is the big news that's come out in the last few days, that Kell Brook will retire. Obviously, there was talk about Kell Brook versus Chris Eubank Jr. It looked like that fight was close to happening. I did a video about it a few weeks ago because I was told that that fight was close. There was some talk about Conor Benn as well. And Kell just said, no, you know, he's called it quits. Look, if you're going to go out, the way he went out, the AO Arena in Manchester beating Amir Khan in front of, what was it? I don't know, 15, 20,000 people. That's a good way to go out. That's a way to say, you know what, we're done. You know, you've made some money. You know my phrase, get in, get rich, get out. Get out while all your faculties are there and you've made some good money and, you know, you've set yourself up for the future, and that's the decision he's made. It wouldn't have been easy because there was big money on the table. There would have been really big money on the table for Chris Eubank Jr. That would obviously have gone on Sky Sports box office. So you're looking at maybe, I mean, definitely 7 figures. Maybe not 8, but definitely 7. Conor Benn money would have been big as well. So he's left a lot of money on the table. So that's definitely not an easy decision, but I think it's the right one. Again, let's not be too fooled about his performance. He was facing Amir Khan, and Amir Khan is way past it. So as good as Brook looked, he looked good against someone that at best is a part-time boxer right now in Amir Khan. So I'm a big Brook fan, as you guys know, but even I, having watched that performance, were like, okay, I don't want to see him against Chris Eubank Jr. I don't even really want to see him against Conor Benn. I still thought there were some good fun fights out there for him, but it is what it is. Now that he has retired, you can now reflect on his career. I always find it difficult to look at someone's career until they've hanged the gloves up. He's now done that. And as much as I wanted and expected more from Brook, he's become a world champion. He's had the big fights. He's made some good money. And that's 99% of people that lace up the gloves won't have had a career that Kell Brook's had. Yes, I thought he could have gone on and had some really big fights in America. Like, he was in and around the time of Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. He should have had those fights. His name, I thought, might have even been in the running. People might laugh at this, for a Pacquiao or Floyd fight. That's how good I thought he was at one stage. Coming off that Sean Porter win, I thought it was just a case of, okay, he's going to go that way. And it just didn't happen. And then we don't have to kind of go over old ground, but we know the stories about the Golovkin and the Errol Spence's fight. But he had those fights. He had those. Win or lose, he was in there against the peak Gennady Golovkin. Not Not, faded or, Gennady Golovkin on the rise. No, peak. Like that Golovkin that he thought was the best Golovkin there's ever been. He was in there with him, and we all know he probably won a round, and we like to dine out on that. But he was in against a good Golovkin. He was in against a very, very good Errol Spence, and gave Errol Spence everything he could. But in the end, I think maybe the weight cut from 160 to 147 was just a bit too much. And, maybe ultimately, maybe he just didn't live the life enough to compete against the very, very best. Maybe. But I was a huge fan of Kell. His walkout song, everything about him, I remember watching him sort of win his British title and kind of just jumping on the bandwagon then, thinking, okay, we've got something special here. Hence the nickname Special K. But yeah, he has made the right decision. Let's hope that's it, because you know what boxers are like. They say they're going to retire, and then, once that big check comes on the table, because even though he's retired, with boxers, a promoter will still continually call you up. They'll call your management team. They'll still call you up and say, okay, look, we got this, we got that, we got this. So yes, he's retired, but they're still going to drag him back out because, again, there's money on the table now. There is money. But look, I'm happy for him. And I'm really happy that he got to have the Amir Khan fight. And look, say what you want about where Amir Khan was in his career at the time. He done it. That's a fight he desperately wanted. Sky done so well in promoting it, so well. And, if there's any way to go out, it's in beating your nemesis the way he did. Very similar to the way Carl Froch ended his show against George Groves. Like, even Carl at the time, although older than Kell is now, Carl had so many offers. Remember, Carl wanted to go to America to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Didn't happen. James DeGale was there as well. But sometimes you've got to know when to call it quits in this game. This is a dangerous sport they're in. It's not even a sport, I think, sometimes. It's fucking... It's brutal, isn't it? It's just fucking gladiatorial shit. So look, well done to Kell. Fantastic career. And hopefully, he stays in the sport. Hopefully, Sky getting him doing some punditry work, maybe he wants to kind of be behind the scenes, training fighters, maybe managing, I don't know. But well done to Kell. Great career. And if anyone's going to say it isn't a great career, understand it is a great career. To become a world champion, to make millions, pay-per-view, headline, big arenas, great career. Trust me. Right, what's this? Dimitri Bivol, I have a message for people who bet on me. Congratulations, guys. Does he mean bet against him or on for him? Hopefully he means people that bet for him. But look, even if he means against him, I mean, it's a great performance, wasn't it? And it kind of leads into this. Like, his promoter and his trainer have warned that there's more to come. The best is yet to come from Dimitri Bivol. I think so. I think now the confidence level, I mean, inject that into your fucking veins. The confidence level that he's going to have now is incredible. And now there's money to be made and big fights to be made for him as well. Because let's be brutally honest. I mean, before this fight, Bivol was always a good fighter. I've always thought he was a good fighter, but you're not thinking of him and thinking, okay, money fights, big fights. Now, though, you're thinking, okay, there's potential to make big fights for him. Whether it be the winner of Smith, Bertabiev, whether it be Canelo, whether it be another 168 guy maybe jumping up. There's big fights. You think of some of the light heavies we've got in this country. Now that he's got that kind of name, he can come over here and have big fights as well, I think. Like, I do think if... And this is maybe looking too far into the future, but if Buatsi beats Richards, I can't see how, unless Bivol gets held up with the Canelo rematch and maybe even a trilogy, I don't know, but I can't see how we don't see Buatsi versus Bivol sometime in 2023. That's a big fight over in O2. It's a big fight. So look, well done to Bivol. This is it sometimes. You roll the dice, bank on yourself. And I've always said this, like when you get a lot of people that want the Canelo fight, but I mean, the fight seems to break down because they want too much money, maybe, because obviously Canelo's the big payday, right? If you really bet on yourself that you think you're going to get the job done, trust the next fight, whether it be the rematch or whatever happens after, you've hit the jackpot. And Bivol's done that now. Bivol's hit the jackpot. He really is. Jaron Ennis, I'm coming to dominate, and KO Clayton, I'm ready to take over at 147. We'll see. When is this fight? I have no idea when this fight is. We'll see about this domination of 147. I'm not I'm not yet there with Ennis. I mean, look, 28 fights, 26 knockouts. He should be there, but we need to see him in against one of the big ones first before I can start jumping. This fight is, bloody hell, it's this weekend. Is it on the undercard then of, I'm guessing it's on the undercard of Charlo Castano. We'll see. I mean, Clayton's unbeaten, got a draw on the record, but he's unbeaten. This might be his toughest test. We'll see. We'll see what Jaron Ennis can do. I like Ennis, but I'm not as people are. People are really crowning him already, and I'm like, whoa, slow down. Eubank Jr., obviously now calling that Golovkin. We'll see what happens. Obviously, look, Golovkin was due to fight Canelo in September. Now I'm guessing Golovkin doesn't really have a dance partner. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. Look, is Eubank really calling him out, or is it just a case of I've got to mention him? If Eubank does call him out, I don't know if Eubank has a fight-by-fight deal with Boxer and Sky, or is he signed to a long-term deal? The reason I say that is because Golovkin, I think has one fight left on his DAZN contract. So look, Golovkin isn't gonna fight on Sky. It would have to be on DAZN. Can it happen? I'm not quite sure. Would like it to. Like right now, I'd love to see that fight, Eubank versus Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin is on the slide. I mean, he's still very, very good, and I still think would bash up every 160-pounder out there. I really do. But he's done the slide. You're 40 years old. You're going to be on the slide. He's way past his athletic prime, and Eubank Jr. needs a big fight. Needs a big fight. He's, I mean, the Kell Brook one's now fallen off. He needs a dance partner. I mean, that's a big money fight. It's a big fight. Eubank versus Golovkin. Let's see if it can happen. What's this here? Zach Parker, Demetrius Andrade. That fight, obviously, was cancelled. It now won't go ahead at Pride Park. I mean, that was just so optimistic, wasn't it? I mean, I've done so many videos talking about this. Like, no disrespect to Zach Parker, who clearly is a talent. Pride Park, what is the attendance of Pride? Obviously, he wasn't going to fill it, but Pride Park capacity. 34,000. I mean, unless you can definitely do 20 plus, there's no point. Like, what are we doing there now? Just, I don't know. Maybe, considering the issues going on with Derby, maybe it was just cheap to get. Like, please rent it, maybe. But no. And you know what? The lack of interest for this fight's quite alarming as well. Like, normally when, a fight, gets cancelled, there is sort of like, people moan, Jesus Christ. Nothing. I didn't see one complaint. Obviously, there would have been some, but I didn't see one complaint online from people saying, for fuck's sake, isn't happening. Jesus Christ, I didn't see one. So, they need to look at how they're doing this fight again, like really promote it. If you're gonna try and sell this fight, and you've got another opportunity now because it's been cancelled, you've got another opportunity. So whenever this fight is, whether it be June or July, let's start really working on some promotion for it, because it's been poor. Really poor. I wonder now, again, I don't know what's going on with Anthony Yarde, but I wonder if you maybe chuck Yarde on this guy. Like, really go for it. If you're going to go for it. Because no one was interested. No one. Katie Taylor, very interested in facing Amanda Serrano at Croke Park. Hopefully, that's my interview that I did with her. I spoke, obviously, with her for a while. It is my interview with DAZN. Yeah, that's nice. Do I get any tag? No, I don't. But yeah, I spoke to her for DAZN, and she is very interested in going to Croke Park. 80,000 will be there. As much as I think that's fantastic, I want it to be at Madison Square Garden again. A, because I want to get out there again, but B, because I like the split of Puerto Rican fans and Irish fans. I think it's just fair. Because when Katie went there, bear in mind Katie now lives in America, it wasn't like Katie was going into enemy territory. It was literally 60-40 split in her favour. At Croke Park, it's going to be 100%. I mean, there will be no Puerto Ricans there at all. And I feel like a fight of this magnitude, why not have it where it's kind of 50-50 in terms of fans? I think it creates a better atmosphere. In saying that, fucking the Irish just by themselves will be amazing. Anything else? Let's have a look. Biffle here, this is interesting. He said without the Richards and a Castillo bouts, he wouldn't have received Canelo fight. He's trying to say that they picked on him just because of those performances. Maybe if he was just wrecking people, maybe Canelo wouldn't have picked him. And that's not to say Canelo's out there sort of cherry picking opponents, because his resume says he clearly doesn't do that. But there is something to say about that, I think. So look, we'll see. Okay, a bit more on this Kell Brook thing. Kell Brook's trainer, I don't know if this is Dominic Ingle or someone else in the camp, says Kell was pricing him out of next fight intentionally. It's interesting now, because obviously when Conor Benn said that Kell was asking for 10 million, a lot of people didn't believe Conor Benn, thought, oh, whatever, Conor. Maybe Kell was just saying that because he just didn't want the fights. Maybe he was. Maybe with the Eubank thing, okay, Eubank get down to 150. I think I heard 156. Remember, they were talking about 158, and I think Eubank said, all right, we'll do 157. And maybe Kell was hoping that they would all say, okay, no for the 10 million, no for 156. And then, do you know what I mean? Almost praying that they'll say no so the fights don't happen. Maybe. But look, he's made the right decision. Anything else we have here? You know what I thought looked really good? And don't get me wrong, don't shoot me down here. I know he was facing a late replacement and the replacement wasn't great. But that Zhang Jie Li looked a bit better than I thought. I like seeing these fights. He's not going to go up and face the very elite, I don't think, although he was supposed to face Hergovich. But I like him. I think he's an interesting boxer. Interesting. Talking about interesting, Tony Yoka versus Martin Bakole, I think, is this weekend. Am I right? Yeah, what? Bloody hell, the fight this weekend in a 10-rounder. That's at a good time. We might do a live watch along for that, because that will be at a reasonable time. All right, guys and girls, I've got to go. Just a very, very quick video, almost a bit of a catch-up video. Thank you so much as always. Peace and love.